Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating development shaking up the world of global finance and cryptocurrency. What if I told you that a major cryptocurrency, often seen as a challenger to the old guard, was recently spotted listed right alongside the king of international bank messaging? We're talking about XRP and SWIFT. Recent analysis, specifically highlighting a diagram from payment platform Earthport, now owned by Visa, shows XRP listed next to SWIFT under the crucial category of payment instruction. What does this actually mean? Is this the breakthrough XRP holders have been waiting for? Why is this specific classification such a big deal? Stick around, because we're going to break down this complex topic, explore the implications for Ripple, XRP, and the future of how money moves around the world. Let's get into it. Okay, before we unpack the main event, let's quickly set the stage. For decades, if you wanted to send money internationally between banks, the message detailing that transaction almost certainly went through SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Think of SWIFT not as a system that moves money, but as the secure messaging network that tells banks how to move the money, who to pay, how much, which accounts, etc. It's the dominant standard, connecting thousands of financial institutions globally. However, it's not without its drawbacks. SWIFT messages can sometimes be slow, costly, and lack transparency, leading to delays and uncertainty in cross-border payments. Enter Ripple and its associated digital asset, XRP. Ripple's mission from the start has been to modernize these outdated payment rails. Using its technology suite, often referred to as RippleNet, and leveraging the digital asset XRP for on-demand liquidity, ODL, Ripple aims to make international payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent than the traditional correspondent banking system that relies heavily on SWIFT now. There's another crucial piece to this puzzle. ISO 2022. This isn't a company or a network, it's a global standard for financial messaging. Think of it as a universal language for financial data. Banks and financial institutions worldwide are migrating to ISO 2022 because it allows for richer data, better automation, improved compliance, and ultimately more efficient payments. SWIFT itself is in the midst of a multi-year migration to this new standard. Why is this relevant? Because Ripple designed RippleNet to be compliant with ISO 2022 from early on. So, with that background, let's get to the core news that sparked this discussion. Crypto analyst SMQKE recently highlighted findings based on Ripple documentation and, significantly, a system diagram from Earthport. Earthport, remember, is a major global payments platform, now part of Visa, that connects various financial institutions and payment networks. In this Earthport diagram, under a section detailing global connectivity options, both SWIFT and XRP are listed side by side under the heading Payment Instruction. Now, what exactly is a payment instruction in this context? It refers to the fundamental data set and messaging format used to initiate and process the movement of funds across networks. It's the core information layer that tells the system what to do with the money. Imagine seeing the blueprints for a major international airport's cargo handling system. Under the label Package Routing Instructions, you see established players like FedEx and DHL listed, but right next to them, you also see a newer technology-driven logistics company. That's analogous to what this diagram suggests for XRP in the context of Earthport's payment infrastructure. The significance here is amplified by Ripple's adherence to ISO 2022. As mentioned in Ripple's own integration documents, the RippleNet payment object body uses ISO 2022 PAX.008 message definitions, the same standard that SWIFT is migrating towards. This means that payment instructions initiated using XRP via RippleNet are structured in a language that the modernizing global financial system understands. It's not some alien code, it's speaking the same emerging global standard. So, seeing XRP listed alongside SWIFT under payment instruction within the architecture of a major player like Earthport Visa isn't just a footnote. It visually represents XRP being positioned not merely as an alternative payment rail, but as a compatible instruction method within the established, albeit evolving financial framework. Okay, so XRP is listed next to SWIFT under payment instruction in an Earthport diagram. and it speaks the same ISO 2022 language. Why is this considered such a big deal? The key word here is interoperability. For years, one of the hurdles for crypto adoption in traditional finance has been the perceived gap between the old world and the new. Many blockchain solutions require banks to rip and replace existing systems, a costly and complex proposition. Ripple, however, has focused on building bridges. This placement in the Earthport diagram, coupled with ISO 2022 compliance, reinforces that strategy. It suggests that financial institutions using or connecting to platforms like Earthport might be able to integrate XRP-based payment instructions more seamlessly into their workflows. If the instructions use the same standard, ISO 2022, and are recognized within the same functional category as SWIFT messages, the technical barrier for adoption could be significantly lower. Banks wouldn't necessarily need entirely separate systems to handle XRP instructions. They could potentially flow through the same upgraded pipes being built for the ISO 2022 migration. This potentially opens the door for XRP's use cases to expand beyond its well-known application in on-demand liquidity for remittances. If XRP can function as a compatible payment instruction method within these systems, could it play a role in broader interbank settlements, corporate treasury flows, or correspondent banking relationships? Areas traditionally dominated by SWIFT. The financial industry is under immense pressure to deliver faster, cheaper, and more transparent cross-border payments. This development positions Ripple and XRP as a potential solution that aligns with the industry's own modernization efforts. The move to ISO 2022, rather than forcing a complete overhaul. It frames the competition not just as SWIFT versus Ripple, but potentially as SWIFT and Ripple, or XRP-based instructions, coexisting or integrating within a more flexible, standardized, future payment ecosystem. Now, it's crucial to add some context and nuance here. While this development is significant and points towards increasing integration, we need to be clear about what it is and what it isn't. First, this is an Earthport, a Visa company diagram illustrating their system architecture and how they categorize different connectivity and instruction types. It is not an official announcement from SWIFT itself, stating a partnership or direct integration with XRP within SwiftNet. That's a critical distinction. Second, there's a difference between technical compatibility and integration, which this diagram suggests is possible within Earthport's framework, and widespread, active usage or formal endorsements by the broader banking community. While the potential is there, the actual adoption curve is still unfolding. Finally, remember, the global migration to ISO 2022 is a massive undertaking that will take years to complete across the entire financial system. This diagram is a snapshot within that larger, ongoing evolution. So, to wrap things up, the key takeaway is that XRP has been identified alongside SWIFT under the critical function of payment instruction within system diagrams of Earthport, a major Visa-owned payment platform. Combined with Ripple's adherence to the emerging global standard ISO 2022, this signals a potentially significant step towards interoperability between XRP-based payments and the traditional financial system. While it's not a declaration of a SWIFT XRP merger, it highlights how XRP is being positioned to fit within the evolving architecture of global finance, potentially lowering adoption barriers and expanding its use cases. The future of payments is definitely getting interesting. What do you think about this development? Does this change your perspective on XRP's role in the future of finance? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.